Hey guys, RC here. So we're back with the next video. I've gone ahead and simmed 3 more games, done the recruiting in the interim and everything else. Um, just to kind of refresh you what we did at the end of the last video, we came in and we created a new custom playbook. I named it this option spread, and it was a very run heavy but with some pass plays out of the basic wishbone, spread, two tight end, several formations, but you can see I've taken the basic option playbook, the spread offense that are default playbooks, and then I've added in my own option spread along with some of the numbers that we've put. So how did we do? Well, let's go in and analyze it, because all I've done at this point is simmed the games. I haven't looked at them other than to know that I won all 3. So Iowa State, we beat 62 to 33, and 23 passes, 42 rushes. So not as heavy as we could have expected. We had a short pass. Also, I went back to Fullerton as my quarterback to get just a better baseline. Okay. Now here in the third quarter, you can see we had an 89, a 99-yard pass, a 12-yard pass, 16, and then we finally got a 13-yard run by the quarterback. So that was actually awesome. So 11 of 16, 348, 4 touchdowns. Johnson 5 of 7. Now let's take a look at the rushing. So my primary running back, 20 carries. Johnson, my quarterback, had 6. Fullerton, the other quarterback, had 4. So we combined for 10 carries. Hinkle and Cuevas, 3 carries. That's a little low, but we do see more runs from the quarterbacks. Give me a second. My kid got hurt at work and I'm having to text her. Oh, man. All right, so not as many runs from the fullbacks as we would have liked to have seen, especially as heavy as we put those. But then again, we did dial them back from 10s for a little bit more option style. Let's take a look at the game analysis just to kind of look and see what happened. So out of the shotgun, we had the counter. Now keep in mind, some of these are the default plays from the default playbooks, right? There's our bubble screens. I didn't put in the counters. Options, quarterback draw, quarterback sprint, sprint left, sprint right, tight end quick outs, bubble screen, options, sweeps. Okay, there's a couple of fullback dives, a draw. Now I think that's from the base playbooks. That's from ours. All right, so we're still getting a lot of option style running plays. We might not be able to mimic it completely, but I think it's in the right direction. West Virginia, we had 23 passes, 63 runs. We did have 2 turnovers. Fullerton, Johnson, Smith, Benoit. So very heavy with the running backs, Fullerton and Johnson. So we ended up with 8 quarterback runs and 4 fullback runs in this game. All right, so and again, if we go into the analysis, well, there's the fullback dives out of the pro set. Not quite the triple option, but still getting the fullback involved in the running game. Some bubble screens. There's two fullback dives. Option lefts. And then if we go to the third game, Baylor. Now they were 7-2, so we beat them, but they're a pretty good team this year. And if we look at what we did here, 28 passes, 47 rushes, 4 runs for the quarterback, 1 for the fullback, 42 for the halfback or the tailback. Okay, so we're seeing it, and again, I think we could probably dial that in. We still have 3 games left, but look, here's what I'm feeling at this point, just season to date. With the changes we made here at the beginning of the year, I think those have worked. They've put more emphasis into our own game plan, right? This is now where we need to fine tune and dial that in and figure out where we want the plays, what we want them to do, and here's what I think we can do. I'm going to change to the option spread for everything except for obvious passing downs. We're going to keep the spread offense there. All right. That's what I think we're going to do now. That's going to put a little bit more emphasis on my playbook. I kind of like where we're heading. I like what we're looking at. From this perspective, the options up here have really shown us I think that this will work. Now it's a matter of coming in and targeting this. Oh, speaking of, while I'm here, I had mentioned the desire to have the ability to lock these, because I would still like to get the AI to suggest maybe a defense against an individual opponent, but I might want to keep my same offense without having to go in and redo all of that off of the AI changes. Or maybe another option to that would be is an AI auto set offense only, auto set defense only, and maybe that fixes it. I think a lock would be a good option. I just don't, again, I mentioned last video, I'm not a game coder, no clue how that works. But one of those two options as 2 suggestions as a way to do this, to where we can still get some AI input on the defense but utilize the offensive game plan that we want. Because if you look at this, if we're trying to do something very, very specific like we are here, then getting some of these other playbooks honestly are not going to work, because that was the whole key with the Wishbone, was the triple option dive up the middle. Being able to look at it from that perspective. And so you almost have to be able to keep that locked in, because honestly, going in every single time and changing this every week would really get, cumbersome. Might not be the right word, but cumbersome is the word that jumped to mind. All right, well, let's go ahead. We've made that change for the next video. So let's go ahead and put a cut in here. I told you these would be relatively short, and this one was even shorter. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you see some positive trends in the direction of actually making the wishbone or the triple option offense work? I think the answer is yes. Granted, we're still only looking at a 9-week sample, but I think it's worked out. In fact, roster stats, rushing. So we are 9 games in. 320, 330, 350, 360, 370, 380. 390, 450, about 455 carries on the season. And let's see if we factor that out. 455 divided by 9, that's 50 carries a game, and then bring that out by 12. So right now we're on pace for 606 carries for the season. And that's still going to be about 100 less than we had last year on, for the season. So, not that that's bad, but because at the end of the day, 100 carries by 12 games. Well, that's 8 carries a game. I guess that could be substantial. The other thing we can do. Let's bring our tempo up to fast again. Remember, we actually used a fast tempo last year. So let's go ahead and save that and dial that in too. All right, well, let's go ahead and put a cut in here. I will finish off the regular season, and then we'll come back and take a look and kind of do a recap. And again, let me know what you guys are thinking here. By the time, of course, that you see this, I'll have already simmed the next video. But I think it gives us 2 seasons to look at. And we've really tried a lot of different things, honestly, over 2 seasons of football here. We've tried different custom playbooks. We tried different settings. We've learned about the quarterback run box that we need to check off. There's a lot of things that we've learned in here, and I think every step that we've taken, we've gotten to where it looks a little bit better. Granted, at the beginning of the season, I think it looked really good. If we come look up in here, 25 carries for the running back, 10 for the quarterback. We didn't have any for the fullback, and I think that was an indicator of the just the playbooks that we were using, because remember, we had gone back to the default playbooks. So there's a fine line in there, it looks like. We just don't know how fine it is that we have to get on, excuse me, to get those fullback carries, to keep the quarterback carries. Of course, we took the quarterback carries off the one quarterback because, you saw he had, negative carries on 52 attempts, negative yards on 50 some odd attempts. Not real good. So anyway, we will put a cut in here. Thanks for checking these out. We'll see you next time. Take care.